Hi, it's Megan. So I got a request a very, very long time ago to do a video on how I kind of do my hair and make it look somewhat controlled. And I put it off for a long time just because my hair isn't somewhat controlled. It takes a lot of cheats to get it to look even moderately sane. So this is what it looks like if it dries just kind of naturally. And you can see it's just like a mop. It doesn't really flow in any good direction at all. It's kind of frizzy, it's flat on top. It's just a mess. And you can see these layers growing out. That's because for some reason whenever I get a certain length hair, whomever is cutting my hair just chops layers in. And I always say I've got thin, wavy hair that breaks and doesn't grow very fast. Don't cut layers, but for some reason, so this has been growing out for 3 years now, believe it or not. They cut it about that short, which meant I looked like a poodle for a while. My daughter has this thick, straight, beautiful brown hair that grows, like, I think she cut 6 inches off last year and it's grown 8 or something crazy like that. Mine is a disaster. So this is what it looks like when we start. What I put in it, Johnston's No More Tangles. The only thing that makes it somewhat controllable is the Living Proof Nourishing Styling Cream, and this is a sample size. I actually have the bigger ones. And also yesterday, there's been so much noise in the background. I apologize. It's all last night. It woke me up at 4 in the morning. I don't know what they're doing. It sounds either like helicopters or big equipment in construction. No idea, but that's just going to be in the background sometimes. I apologize. So I put this, and then I put just a little bit of gel, like right at the roots. I don't know if that does anything, but I do it. So this is what it looks like, and I'm going to now go put it up in curlers, and you would think that that would get me to where I need to go, but there's actually one other step after that. So I'm going to go put it up in curlers, then you'll see that. So now I've got my hair up in the curlers, and you can see I need to put little pieces of paper sometimes because I've been known to burn myself before, so sometimes if I'm not careful, these end up touching my skin and it's really hot and it burns, so I'm always really careful about that. It's been particularly bad in the back of my neck just because, I don't know, I feel it less there, and I've had a couple of blisters. So when you use these, be really careful. So I actually have 3 different size curlers on, and they're all broken. The lids all break off of mine really fast. This is one, and then this is actually my favorite one, the bigger size. I like the bigger size better, but because so much of my hair was chopped up off right here, it gives bigger, loose, bouncy, beautiful waves. Because so much of it was chopped off here for so long, I haven't been able to use that up here. I probably could start, maybe now, it's probably growing to the length where I could probably start again. So I started with these smaller ones that could actually take and have enough room to roll around a couple times the hair that I had closer to the top of my head. And what the rollers do for me is, they're one of the few things that can actually give me body on the top of my hair. Otherwise it's just like this roof look. I don't know why it slants like this, but it does. And then also they're actually better than anything else with my hair for taking out some of the frizz, and then they control it a little bit. Since it's so frizzy and goes in every which direction, they actually give it a little structure. And how long I keep these on depends on a number of things. What other things I'm doing while they're in. Sometimes I get really busy with something and I just leave them in until they cool. Sometimes I only leave them in for about 3 or 4 minutes, and that's usually enough because I'm going to do a straightening iron after. And there have been days, especially when there's any moisture whatsoever in the air, where I could leave these on for an hour and use a straightening iron. Everything else, as soon as I step outside or a few hours later, my hair just frizzes up again. Because for whatever reason, that moisture just doesn't allow me to control my hair in any way, shape, or form. But living in Southern California where it's pretty dry, that's not an everyday problem. So usually using the curlers will get most of the frizz out and give a little bit of direction to get some straightness in my hair. But sometimes when it's a little bit more wet, damp, whatever, it doesn't happen. So I'm going to take these out, and then I'm going to show you what I do with a straightening iron. Just a second. Okay, so now my hair comes out like this in these little ringlets, and I've got my curling iron, no, not my curling iron, my straightener here. So you can see even when I brush it or comb it, it just doesn't look right. So I take, this is actually still hot, so it'll be fine. I take this, and first I smooth underneath because I just like a straighter look, and right here I usually get a little bit of curl. See, this still hasn't grown in all that much, and I like that to look a little bit straighter. So I'm a really low maintenance, believe it or not, hair girl. If I didn't have such problematic hair, if I had hair like my daughter, I would seriously just wash it and go, which is what she can do. But I like to take most of the fluff, most of the curl out of what I just did. Let me tilt this down a little bit. And just get something that looks polished and mostly controlled. And so I just run the straightening iron through it really quickly. And then right in here, I very often, even with the curling irons, my under bit right in there, I have problems with frizz. So I've got to be really careful. And so there, all of a sudden, my crazy, frizzy, all over the place hair looks at least somewhat out of control. Anyway, that's what I do to tame my badly behaved, crazy, frizzy mess of hair and make it look at least a little bit controllable and controlled. Thank you very much. Please subscribe on YouTube. I would love to hear any thoughts or tricks that you have to make this process easier, or just overall in general with hair. And that's it. Thank you.